Oh, wait. Yeah. Hey, guys, welcome back. And then you say this is forward farming. I'm sorry. The wheels are already falling off. Okay. So 3, 2, 1. Hey, guys.
Welcome back to Forward Farming.
All right. We've got a special episode today. As you can tell, Amber's voice hasn't dropped a couple octaves. My name is Dan. I am Amber's husband. We've got the husbands from last week's episode. So we've got me, Dan Bristow. We've got Joey Hilby and Tom Wagner of Mr. Modern Farm Chick fame. Joey and I are both pretty quiet on social media, but Tom, on the other hand, really takes advantage of his social platform.
Yep, I live off my wife.
So, guys, do you want to quick take a couple seconds to introduce yourselves, what the heck we're doing here and why we've got 3 guys on the Forward Farming podcast tonight?
I'm going to go ahead and say it's the pregnancy hormones, because this probably isn't the best idea if I have to guess how this is going to go. But
I don't think Amber
nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't think Amber and Becca are thinking clearly right now on the later stages of their pregnancies. They're letting the husbands on the show. We'll see how it works. You know, we're supposed to keep it to 40 minutes, but it might be a little bit longer, and Amber will do a lot of editing on tonight's show.
Better be careful. They might ask us to be back.
Yeah, we can't do too good of a job.
Right.
Yeah. We got to keep that bar low, but you know, I always say keep the bar low enough that you can trip over it. But you know, if we're doing too well, they might ask us back, and we don't want anything to do with that. But Tom, I think once Amber and Becca both have their respective children, I think they're looking for fill-ins for a couple of weeks of podcasting. So it might be you and Annalise taking the reins for a little while. You never know.
Oh yeah? Okay. Boy, you guys would be all out of followers after that.
It'll just be your parents listening to the weekly episodes.
I don't know. My mom knows what a podcast is. I don't think my dad does, so don't have to worry about that.
So I guess the main reason why we did this, and listeners, again, if you listen to last week's episode, Amber and Becca had Annalise Wilhelm from the Mod Farm Chick. I'm sorry, I said Wilhelm. I know an Annalise Wilhelm from home. You're Annalise Wagner. I'm sorry. Amber, edit that out. But last week, Amber and Becca had Annalise Wagner on the podcast, and Amber was asking them questions about being a parent or kind of farm life as a parent, and especially since Amber and I are going to be experiencing our first child here in a couple months, we wanted to double the fun and have me ask the guys, both being farmers and husbands and fathers, have me ask them questions about what I can expect and maybe what might go on, because I have no idea. Like Amber said, we were watching those videos a couple weeks ago from Gunderson, and there was some stuff in there. You know, there is some things I wasn't expecting to see in an email from a hospital.
You had to go.
What's that, Tom?
You had to go to class, and
we didn't
about how to take care of your child.
We haven't gotten to that chapter.
You had to go to class and learn about how to take care of your child.
We haven't gone to a class physically. You know, with the day and age, it's all online and like a slideshow and stuff. But I think we're signed up for a class here in a couple of weeks in town. But we haven't gotten to like the how to swaddle and all that stuff yet. We just got through step 1, you know, leaving the hospital. So the stuff I wasn't expecting to see came out, you know, in step 1. I mean, I kind of understand that kids are going to be messy, but some of those videos, boy,
yeah, they probably weren't false videos. They will crap all the way up their back quite often.
Yeah, I
remember the first one of those I got.
And you guys deal with cows. So you know, cranberries don't poop. You know, so you guys are kind of used to it.
Cow crap that's nothing. That's nothing.
Okay. All right.
A full diaper from a child, that destroys you. That is just rotten.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. So I guess you guys said you prepared a couple, tips, and as questions come up, as you're talking, I'll probably ask a couple questions like that. But, I guess to get it started, one thing I'm most worried about, and Amber asked the other girls last week about it, was, as far as being tired all the time. I mean, I feel like we're all up pretty early regardless, before children. My day starts at 3:45. And then doing that while waking up every 2 hours at night. Is there a way that you guys deal with that? Or is it just kind of hold on and wait until you get to bed later in the night?
Tom, you want to go
Coffee.
first?
I said coffee.
Coffee. That's actually I saw you guys had beer. I've got a mug of coffee right now. It's 7:15 and I'm drinking
You're
coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's still warm from this morning.
And geez, coffee and whiskey. That was going to be that's how we survived.
Okay. Yeah. Cause we're doing the whole Amber's not drinking, so I'm not drinking thing. So I was, except for last weekend, I was in a wedding and Amber let me partake last weekend, and I kid you not, I had a hangover for 3 days, and I kept myself pretty tame. But yeah, I was a really cheap date this weekend, which was nice. But
I'll tell you one thing: you go out partying and get super drunk, and you come home, and you have to deal with kids the next day. You do that probably once, maybe twice, and you're like, yeah, I'm never doing this again. And then a couple months go by, and you do it again.
You
got to
forgot
deal with
how bad
screaming
it
kids
was.
all day again with a hangover. It's not much fun, but
Well, I think all of us are pretty close to at least one set of grandparents, if my memory serves. You got, because like I'm upstairs in one of our guest rooms, and I can see Amber's grandma's house through the window, and their house is right behind me. So I think I can just hear grandma and grandpa, mom and dad are hungover. Can you give us a couple hours, take a nap?
Don't wear that out too fast, though.
I know. But hopefully for the first while, they'll be like, oh, because this is the first grandbaby in the whole family for us. So hopefully hopefully the shine will stay for a little while.
Right. So it'll be the most loved and the favorite for quite a while.
Mm-hmm. I think our dog just got knocked off the list this evening because he ran right through Amber's dad's garden to go say hi to him. He took a beeline right through the beans. So he might get in trouble for that. So he might be on the shit list now. So
Lisa's dog was top priority until the kids came, and he just kind of wanders back and forth between the farm and our house, and he's just kind of out there surviving on his own,
picking up scraps from lunch, and
yeah, pretty much. The kids are starting to take to him now.
Well, that's good. Give him something to keep him occupied.
Right.
What was your biggest, or Joey, I guess, what was your biggest change in life, aside from not having a kid to having a kid, or Tom, in your case, not having a kid to having two? What was the biggest thing that you woke up one morning, you're like, oh, I can't do that anymore? And aside from, I guess, being hungover and going out and partying, but was there something that slapped you in the face? You're like, oh boy, that's different, and that's never going to be the same.
You're never going to get to sleep in again. Never. At least in my situation, our kids are up at the butt crack of dawn. They're pretty good, being as I get off late. They know to let me sleep, but yeah, they still wake you up tromping around the house. Not the worst thing in the world, but that'll change.
Alan Jackson sang a song about, kids' footsteps and how lovely it sounds. So
it's true. It's true. Except if you get off work at 3 a.m. and then you hear those footsteps at 5:30. That's a pretty early morning call. But
It's the You're Gonna Miss This. Is that the song you're talking about?
I think it's something like that. Yeah. I think Amber actually posted about how she loved Amber Jackson today, or Alan Jackson. She probably wanted her name to be that.
You sure that's straight coffee?
Yeah, I promise.
I always think about that song, You're Gonna Miss This, where they say the kids are screaming in the background, the plumber's working on the water heater or whatever, and he says, You're gonna miss this. And I don't think I'm going to. I just don't see the day where I'm going to miss this. Because like our kids are up super early too. But I'm usually gone. Annalise has to deal with them.
There you go.
But like 5 a.m. Lane is just a little farmer. He just wants to be at the farm all the time, wondering what's going on and everything. So the has been a change. I don't plan on that at all. And then it took a while kind of to realize it, but I would say like just coming home at night and being like, hey, let's go do whatever. Like just jump in the car and go do something. Like that doesn't really happen anymore. You got 2 kids, you either got to drag along with you or you got to feed them or put them to bed or do whatever. So I would say the freedom part of it.
I had that thought earlier in the summer when concerts started coming back, and I was like, oh man, I don't remember who it was. It might've been Foo Fighters or something. Cause Amber and I went to one of their shows a couple of years back, and I was like, oh, a Foo Fighters concert, that'd be awesome to go to. And I was like, oh God, we're not going to go to a concert for a while, but it's all part of the give and take, it's the miracle of life. We get those lovely kids and those awesome footsteps you guys are talking about. And you don't get to go to concerts anymore. For a couple of years at least.
Yeah, save the concerts or put those on the side burner. You got to keep the grandparents online for deer season.
There it is. Yeah, that's
the give and take. You need to go kill something.
Get it out of your system.
Yep.
From like a farming aspect, have you guys? I mean, I know the two of you are much more similar in the farming world than I am. We don't do row crops or anything like that, or cows for that matter. But is there, like Tom, you said Lane likes to hang out with you a lot or come ride in the tractor and stuff like that. And is there stuff that you right away, like when you're tilling or, raking or anything, did you bring them with you right away, or just to kind of keep them quiet or put them to sleep in the tractor?
Actually, the first time he ever rode in a tractor with me, he just screamed bloody murder like the whole time. He was, I don't know if he was scared or didn't, I don't know. He wanted his mom, maybe, I don't know, but he did not like it. But he was probably not even a year old yet.
Okay.
But now it's almost gone the other way where you can't get him out of the tractor. Like he won't come home, eat dinner, go to bed. And he can hear the tractor from the house. He can hear the silage trucks driving by. He knows something is going on and he wants to be a part of it. So he can, when the chopper is out by our house, like he just wants to ride in the chopper. And it's like, well, you can't just ride in the chopper all day. You gotta come home
school
and eat lunch and take a nap. Yeah. He's gone too far the other way now.
Joe, your kids are on the farm a lot too, right?
Yes, addicted to it, but it's still fun to watch and see them enjoy that.
Yeah, on our end, every morning, if I try to sneak down to the barn, just do chores without the kids because it's 10 times easier. Holy moly, do they throw a hissy fit. Joe's got to go down. Sophia, she's a little more hesitant now. She'd rather try to sneak a freezy out of me, which is parenting hack 1, bribery.
Yep. Yes, write that down, Dan.
I've got my
Always
notepad
have candy in your pocket. Always have candy in your pocket.
See, but Amber would probably steal that from me more than the kid might.
Yeah. So No, they both come down to the barn and ride in the tractors. And Sophia, she's caught on that she'll say she wants to stay in the house. And I'm like, okay, one less kid to watch running around or whatever. She'll get a freezy. 5 minutes later, she's down in the barn. Probably not even dressed most days, but she's down there, ready to go. Joe, he'll throw a hissy fit if he doesn't come down. Like, he gets pissed. He is 100% farm kid. There'd be a tractor driving down the road and he'll run over to the window. Dad, tractor. Yo, just the neighbors hauling shit.
So is that something, because like I said before we started recording, I'm not from a farming background whatsoever. And Amber, obviously, as she grew up right here, is that something that you guys, I know your kids are all under 4 or 5. Is that something that you guys have thought about, in the future? Both your boys seem like they want to be on the farm, but they're still 4 years old. So, or I think Joe is younger, but is that something that you and your wives have talked about? Like, hey, if they don't want to do college, or if they don't want to do something else, we're just going to let them come right on the farm? Or are we going to try and say, hey, go do something and get away for a little while, or just going to let it wait for 12 more years until they, get a little bit older?
First, my line, I already kind of have it planned out, is graduate high school. I don't care what you do. Go to college, go get a job somewhere else. I don't care what, but just go do something. You're 18, you're 19. This is the time to go do whatever the heck you want. I don't care what it is, and then come back to the farm if you want, but at least take a couple years, get away from here.
Yeah. Preferably
like something different.
Yeah. Preferably get your diesel technician certification, and then you can come back.
Yeah. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not going to fix anything. So yeah, I need somebody like that.
Or learn how to weld, one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now it's just call the guy. So if you can learn how to do that, that would save me a pile in labor.
Is that kind of the same for you, Joey?
I haven't really thought about it. I mean, we're sitting on pretty small acres, so hopefully down the road, 18 years from now, the farm's big enough where it could support us and then them and their dreams or whatever. But at the moment, I don't know. It's just too early to decide anything. First, we got to get ourselves situated before I hope someday they farm and do something, but whether they'd be able to come here or not, it's up in the air. It all depends if I make the right moves, right calls, this, that, and everything else. And
one of the right moves is going on a podcast with a couple of their husbands.
Yeah, because this ought to bring in the big dollars.
if the last 20 episodes didn't, this one's gonna do it. Go ahead.
You just got a little bit of everything at your farm, Joey?
Yeah, we got steers and row crops and chickens, turkeys, a few pigs, so a little bit of everything. And then I work in town. Yeah, Becca's got her dairy herd up at the farm she works at. So we're sitting on the whole farm's 160 acres, and then I run 83 of the tillable plus the 25 of the pasture, and then my brother runs the rest of it. It's a family farm, and all good stuff.
Yeah. We're pretty boring around here. Just got cows.
You need turkeys.
I don't know. I have turkeys and they eat my crops.
Yeah, well, these ones are stupid. They clean up the grain you spill, and then they like to wander around the calf barns. So when you're trying to feed calves, you're tripping over the stupid things. And then your wife makes them Instagram famous, and then they can't get killed.
Yeah, then you can't get rid of them. You forget to bring them to slaughter in the spring.
Mm-hmm. So I got three cleanup on. Yeah, I got 3 on the cleanup crew.
There you go.
Anything I spill.
We've got a hired guy out here that got duck. He's got a handful of chickens at his house, and then he just got ducks. And he said that was the worst thing he ever did was ducks, because he said they just chase his dog around. They bite his dog in the ass, and they don't hardly ever lay eggs. Like he said, you'll get your normal half dozen eggs in the morning from your chickens. You might get 3 a week from his 3 ducks. So they're just don't really do anything for him. They just chase his dog around.
Yeah, what do you do with a duck egg?
It's just a little bit bigger than a chicken egg. He gave us a couple of them. I guess the yolk's a little bit darker, but otherwise it's just an egg. I mean, I hunt ducks, so I told him if he ever wants to get rid of them.
No, didn't know that. Let them fly over.
Yeah, well, I guess these are ones that aren't able to fly. They're yeah. He didn't buy mallards, unfortunately. He got some of those white ones that you get at the petting zoo. So
he had a chicken at our dry cow farm, and we had a little mishap with it. It was a rooster. He started to get mean. He would like come after you when you weren't expecting it. And I had the kids down there one day. I was cleaning the lot, and he came after me, and I whacked him with a stick and just tumbled him over. The lady that lives there, she was in the window watching the whole thing. She told me one day, she's like, that chicken's got to go. Like it shouldn't be down here with them kids. So a few days later, it was gone.
Just disappeared. Never knew where it went.
Yep, disappeared. Yeah, I don't know what
went to the farm up the road.
Yep.
I just realized that before we get into more parenting stuff, we didn't do any highs and lows or goals. I know you guys weren't prepared for it, nor was I, but that's like a main staple of the Forward Farming podcast. So maybe we'll do, and I guess we really didn't introduce ourselves either. I just said your guys' names. So quick, I'll introduce myself, and then give a high and a low and a goal. Sorry, Amber and listeners. I know you all listen for the highs and lows and the goals, and not us talking about chickens and turkeys. But to get it going, I'm Dan Bristow. I am the husband of Amber Bristow, Cranberry Chats, and one of the hosts of the podcast. I am now going on year 3 of being a farmer out here in the cranberry world. My high for the week is I didn't think about this either, so all 3 of us are going off the cuff. I would say it's actually just been like a really nice week weather-wise. 2 weeks ago it was 95 and we were fertilizing and it was plenty warm for that. And this week we're fertilizing again because we're on the second half of bloom. So we're putting a little bit more fertilizer on, and today it was almost nice when we're out doing that. So it was kind of a nice breeze, so it wasn't too hot. Joey, a high for you, and kind of introduce yourself.
I'm Joey Hilby, husband to Becca Hilby. I'll just go straight to high. My high of the week was probably it finally rained here. We got in the last week, we probably gotten close to half an inch, and we were pretty dry. So that was nice to see. It was spread out nice and slow, hoping for a little more this week. And today, even with that rain, I was digging in the back pasture. Along my back pasture, there's a creek, and then it's a little swampy, and then the crops, well, I normally can't plant right up to the fence because I'll bury whatever I'm driving. And today I took the skid loader back and was able to dig a couple ditches to try to get it to drain to the creek. Over the years, the ditches that were supposed to be there, or waterways, whatever you want to call them, must have silted in and it just plugged up at the field fence. And yeah, so that was a high. I didn't get stuck.
There you go.
I didn't get the skid loader stuck because it's a pain in the ass.
Tom? That's good. I'm Tom Wagner. I am Mod Farm Chick's husband. Farm, we milk cows. We milk 800 Holsteins. And my high for the week, I'm going to go weather-wise, yeah, beautiful. I mean, Monday morning, I was in the barn. Beautiful. I do not mind wearing a sweatshirt all day. That's perfect for me. Got a little rain last week. We got like an inch, so that was nice, much needed. We hadn't got a decent amount of rain in over 3 weeks. So, weather is my high.
And my quick low is I'm gonna get yelled at when Amber edits this podcast because for one, I don't know if she's gonna try and go back into order or if she's just gonna put this part right in the middle. I'm not sure. But I thought of another quick high, Joey, when you were talking about getting stuck and stuff. I was driving to La Crosse this last weekend on I-90, and right at the Monroe County line from Monroe to La Crosse County, they had mowing operations on the interstate all week. And there was they've got a international, I'm not sure how big it is, but it's a big tractor to pull a big batwing mower. And he was up to his axles in the median, and it was awesome. Like he was sitting there spinning. You couldn't see the treads on his tires, and he was done for. And he was right in the middle. Like he just went right off the edge of the interstate to try and mow in the middle of the interstate, and he was done for. I halfway wished I would have stopped and just watched how he's going to get out of there. But that was another high. I had a good chuckle. Do you guys have any lows for the week? Oh, kick the desk. Whoops.
It was humid here today, this afternoon. Got nasty. That's going to be my low. I hate humidity.
God, the sun is terrible.
Yeah, we didn't have the humidity. I hate hot weather, though. I mean, it's good for the crops and everything, but humidity coming from a guy that works in 35-degree weather all day long, it's rough.
You're lucky you don't wear glasses, like walk outside and fog up.
I laugh at everybody who works in the cooler and wears glasses. As soon as they step outside those doors, they're walking blind. It's entertaining. I'm waiting for somebody to walk into a wall one day. Only downside is then I'll have to fill out an accident report. But minor details.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Low for the week. I'm going to go back to weather. We were supposed to get a little more rain, and it just scooted us because to our west here, we got the Cincinnati Mountain. It's a nunnery where the nuns retire at and all that good stuff. But that thing will split weather like you have never seen before. It goes south, it goes north, and just right around us.
That seems to happen in Warren's, in our area. It's damn it.
That's gonna get edited out.
Yep.
I didn't catch it, and Becca won't ever hear it.
That seems to happen in our neck of the woods too. It seems like Eau Claire just gets pounded.
We all knew you lived in Warren. It's not a surprise.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like there's one hill, literally one hill in town. And it seems like all the fronts just split right around it. And you can see it go to the north and go to the south. Mm-hmm. And when I say a hill, I mean like 50 feet of elevation, because that's everything else out here is as flat as you can be. And because we get rid of hills if we can, because we can put more cranberry beds there. But yeah, we went, like you guys were saying, we went a good solid 3 weeks without any considerable rain. Because I do all our irrigating in the morning. So, I mean, it's essentially like, we've just got sprinklers everywhere in all our cranberry beds. And I have a calendar that I write our times down in, how long I irrigated for. And it was at least, 17 or 18 straight days that I was running in the morning. And we don't run if we get between a 10th and a 15th inch of rain overnight, then we'll let them sit for the day. But yeah, it was all of 3 weeks that we went straight. But luckily we've got that fallback, if it's not raining for 3 weeks, we can turn the sprinklers on in the morning.
You actually have sprinklers in the beds, or
yeah,
you
so
just flood them?
We only flood in the winter and at harvest time.
Okay.
But yeah, for the most part, every single bed has either 2 or 3 lines of irrigation. Some of the older stuff is above ground pipe, just going from 4-inch pipe down to 2-inch aluminum pipe, and every 30 feet or 60 feet there's a sprinkler head coming out of the pipe. And then our newer stuff, when we renovate beds, we put in-ground Driscoll pipe and then just sprinklers out of that, and that's every 60 feet too. And then we've got individual engines that go into a pond that suck water out of the pond and then run it to each bed.
That gets recirculated.
Yep. So all of our water, there's drain tile throughout every bed. Most beds have 7 or 9 lines of drain tile, a foot down underneath the vines. So then that'll go to the ditches that are around each bed. And then in a roundabout way, it gets back into the pond. And it's all water fed too. We've got a creek coming into the marsh too, that all our ponds are fed by. But then we figure out
Conservation at its best.
Yep, it's all self-sustaining for the most part, and I don't know the exact numbers, but they put it, the Wisconsin Cranberry Growers Association put it out. I think it's 10 acres to every 1 acre, I believe, in Wisconsin on average is support ground to producing acreage. So you got like 10 acres of supporting wetlands or forest to every 1 acre of cranberries.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, now that I halfway let it slip, we'll have to, maybe our next time we have the 3 of us, we can do it in person now that we're allowed to leave our houses.
Yeah.
And we can show you a different kind of crop. And
can we get into politics? Amber said she never said anything about politics.
As the guy that has to sit next to her when she edits this, I'm going to say no politics. I'm assuming that we're all going to fall on the same lines or close to.
I think so. Yeah.
And I'm sure my brother-in-law that works down in Madison at the Capitol would appreciate if we stay out of it too, because somehow he'd find out. Why did you say that? Why you don't know what you're talking about?
But it would spice it up.
Oh, I know.
Right. Double the followers. They'd be on Fox News tomorrow.
Oh,
exactly.
Shit. We'd hit media headlines.
It drops.
3 dads went balls deep into politics when they took over their wife's podcast.
Watch these 3 idiots put their foots in their mouth over podcast.
I have a feeling the first part of the headline would be 3 bodies are found in the road ditch.
Exactly. That was one of the first things my father-in-law told me when Amber and I were dating. We were driving around and he goes, "Dan, do you know what a floating bog is?" And I said, "No, what's that?" He goes, "Well, it's kind of like peat moss, and then underneath it, it's water, and nobody really ever knows how deep it is." And he just like calmly said, "You can probably put a body in there, and nobody would ever be able to find it." I was like, "Oh, okay." And luckily, we don't have any of those too close, But it's still in the back of my head,
A friend of mine, his now wife, heard his father an excavation business. He met him. You know how deep my biggest excavator can dig? And he's 34 feet. You can't find any more feet.
Jesus. That's not ideal. We've got a couple excavators out here too that you could put a pretty big hole with too. That's ugh. And I don't know how to work those yet, so I can't threaten anybody with it. If they need something pushed with a bulldozer, I'm their guy, but excavator is not my game yet. So back onto parenting. Joey, you said that's your first parenting hack earlier. Do you guys have like a handful of hacks that you could throw at me? It doesn't even need to be farm related, but just something, like keep freezies in the freezer and hide them from your wife because she'll eat them all. Or just have you seen those alcoholic freezies? They make those now. It's like
seen those
it's
yet.
like your Mr. Freezy pop you normally get, but they got like an 8% alcohol.
That'd be dangerous because Sophia knows how to get in the freezer and she has scissors. I'd wake up one morning and she'd be plowed. And Sophia can't go to school. She's a little intoxicated. Yeah, that'd be bad.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try those maybe next summer because we're looking at the end of August. So summer's almost over by then. And mean, who's to say you can't have a freezy pop in February? You never know.
That's right. You can.
I'm an adult now, damn it.
That's right. You can have cookies before dinner. It's okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Go for
ahead.
hacks on lay some hacks on me.
Go ahead, Joey. I got nothing. I got candy. Keep candy around. They'll do anything for candy.
They will. Get them interested in like watching the same shows you like. Like I like to stream different deer hunting shows. It's not only entertaining for you yourself to watch them try to shoot a deer on TV with an invisible bow, but you get to watch what you want to watch, not Thomas the Train Engine or whatever. It's just their thing for the day.
Yeah, I'd say work on that, Dan, because you are going to get deep into cartoons that make you want to put a gun barrel in your mouth.
Hi, Sophia.
They are so stupid.
Another tip. Yeah. Can you get me another beer? Get me a beer out of the fridge.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
Oh, no.
Go. Joe, can you get me a pop out of the fridge?
No.
Oh, jeez.
They're butting me down. I'll throw it away. Make them your servant.
Okay.
That one shook up. I don't know if the mic picked that one up, but that was definitely my beer hitting the ground.
I would say make like boring jobs seem cool, I guess would be a good one. Like, I don't know, sweeping the dirt off the porch or something. Like my son, he loves to vacuum. So you sweep up a pile of dirt and turn the vacuum on and he sucks it right up. So he'll sit out in the garage with the shop vac on for hours. He's probably not going to be able to hear in a few years, but
that's fine.
Vacuum. Right. We'll worry about that then.
Yeah. Get them a wide variety of food that they like. Like Joe, right now, he's on a big hook. The summer sausage we have made, he just gobbles that up left and right. And it's something easy that they can eat. I mean, it goes back to the bribery or just big picture. You're still bribing them, but it's like, hey, I need 5 minutes of silence. You want some food? Because that goes back to one of the things you'll notice as a change.
That one fizzed up.
Yeah, it did. We're good though. You will not come back like once you leave the hospital. Yeah, you'll have the first couple months where they're up every couple hours eating, and I don't know. Becca has always naturally fed. So there wasn't a whole lot I could do for the first little while till she started pumping. So I got to sleep. She got up, and then like dirty diapers, you take your turn, whatever. And yeah, I forgot where I was going with this.
We're all tired.
Yeah. Where was I going?
Like going off that, like as a husband, not even, worrying about the kids. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna do something stupid, and I mean, I'm sure I have done something stupid in the last 40 minutes that I'm gonna get in trouble for. But like, where do I need to avoid like topics or
right. This is where I got you, maybe. And Lisa's gonna get so mad at me for all this, because I don't do a very. But you see the shirt I got on?
Yep.
Can you read that?
Yep. It's not even backwards. I figured that'd be backwards.
This guy loves his wife or whatever.
No, I just thought looking at the camera, it'd be backwards.
Oh.
But
get yourself one of those and wear it everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay.
Yeah, just wear it everywhere. I don't. I do. I wear it like in the house when nobody's watching. You know the phrase, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy?
Mm-hmm.
That sinks in once there's kids in the house.
Okay.
Like, if she's not happy, you will not be happy.
That's the thing. Like I was planting all
my. So do whatever you can to make her happy.
I was planting all my plots this spring, for deer. And I was sitting here thinking, I was like, man, I'm probably not even going to hunt over these this fall, but I'm planting them anyway. Cause if we get to a point where Amber is able to pull her bow back, she's going to be able, she's going to be the one that's going to go hunting. Not to any fault of her own. She just carried a baby around for 9 months. So, I'll try and keep mama happy that way, saying until I break the kid. She's out in the tree stand and I send her a text message and what the hell's this? What do I do with this? Or I run over to grandma and grandpa's house and help. I can't get them out of the swaddle.
Yeah, just keep pretending like you know what you're doing. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. Don't bring up how tired you are if you like sneak out with the boys for a night. Never bring that one up.
No, okay.
If it's your own
Never
fault,
complain about being tired ever.
Nope.
How early our morning lives are different, the three of us, because like in the morning when I'm irrigating, I kind of have a free hand, I guess, running my spotlight with one hand and driving with the other one. But in the fall I run traps out here. How early, this fall would probably be too early to bring the kid with me to trap, I would think, when it's 8 weeks old. But I know Amber told a story of her dad used to put her in his basket on his back when he'd throw like muskrats in there with her, and when she was a kid. And I'm just trying to think of what I can do with the kid to give Amber alone time and quiet. But then she's got her dumb dog with her, but so it's never quiet. But for the record, I love my dog, but he's just the biggest idiot in the world. But do you bring the kids? I mean, I know both of you guys have two, but do you, and I guess Joey, your schedule is a little different than Becca's. Do you bring them? Is there time that you just take them away from Becca or Annalise and just be like, here's the house? Like, does that win points?
Yeah, I try to do that when I can. It's kind of difficult because they never want to do the same thing. They always want to go each in a different direction. So it's kind of tough because there's always, it's getting easier now that they get older, but they want to go in a different direction. There's equipment going in every direction, so you gotta kind of watch them as best you can. But I try to, as much as I can, when I can, take them both and just say, here, just take and watch TV for an hour. I don't care. Just whatever you got to do to make yourself happy. Sell some of that Rodan Fields stuff, make some money. That was a good plug. I'm going to get some points for that.
There you go.
Yeah, on our end, it's usually with our schedules the way they are. If I'm not working around the farm fixing this or fixing that, we're trying to get away to go to the cabin. We don't have a lot of alone time for any of us, which is how our schedules work. I mean, the biggest thing for us is not so much giving each, like Becca or I, our own time. We just go away as a family. Like, we'll run up to the cabin and do this, or we'll go to the store. Just the teamwork of evening the odds of like kids versus adults versus the one-on-one makes things smoother throughout time.
You say going to the store, that brought up thing in my brain. When you go out, like if you take the kids out to eat, is it, because like I'll be sitting there like right now, if Amber and I are at a restaurant and there's a kid just going nuts in the, in the booth 3 over, how do I deal with that? Like, do you just like remove them from the situation, or do you just say, you know what, screw everybody else, we're going to deal with this here, and I want my tater tots?
we don't go out to eat that often just because we rather cook at home. This is us just personally. We rather throw something on the grill and cook it, just because then you don't have to watch what the kids are doing. I mean, if we're out to eat with the kids, it's usually like, hey, let's stop at McDonald's or Subway or Culver's and just grab something quick, because they have no patience at 4 and 2. They're just they won't sit down for a meal.
Okay, so check that off the list too. So no concerts, no
Yeah,
going out to
don't
eat.
go out to dinner.
just don't do it.
Like
Unless you got a
if we're at a
babysitter.
restaurant, get a babysitter and then go out to eat. Just the two of you, so you can have a conversation, have a drink, and you don't have to worry about anything. I hate going out to eat with our kids. I'm gonna put that out there. Annalise knows it, but it, like, if there's other people's kids there, it doesn't bother me. But if it's my kids causing the ruckus, it drives me nuts, and I get just super frustrated, and it's not any fun. I'd rather just leave them at home.
I can see myself being like that too. Like, I mean, completely different comparison. But if somebody else's dog is being, an asshole, I'm like, oh, he's fine. Don't worry about it. But if my dog's like jumping around on people, I get pissed, and then I'm embarrassed, I'm like, I know he's better than this, but he's just being dumb right now. And I'm assuming, if I'm out to dinner or something, or God forbid we take go on a plane, before the kid's 18, like you're not getting on a plane with me until you can drive yourself to the airport.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait for Annalise to hear that. She thinks I'm the only person like that. She wants to take them to Florida, like right now. Like,
no,
absolutely not. And Annalise is like the only one that can console our kids. I can do nothing for them. If mom is there, they only want her, and I'm just chopped liver over in the corner. Want nothing to do with me. So,
Amber's mom floated that idea of, because they have a condo in Florida, her other family, and it's like, oh, maybe for Christmas we'll get you guys tickets to go to Florida for a week. And I was like, we're gonna have like a 6-month-old baby at that time. Oh, it'll be fine. It's like, no, we're gonna I can't sit in the bathroom the whole time when the kid's crying, because it'll just, I can feel the same way. It doesn't bother me too much when kids are crying at a restaurant, because I'm like, well, for one, I don't have to deal with that person's diaper. But when it's my kid, I'm sure I'll get hot and annoyed and embarrassed. And so no dinner, no concerts, no planes.
With the kids, you can go to dinner.
I can go to dinner. Kids. Yeah, I just got to find some kids to watch mine here eventually. Right. I got to start putting out flyers in town.
Yeah, I think you'll be
creepy.
safe.
Not at all. Any teenagers looking for work?
I think you'll be safe running the trap line. Just bundle them up good.
Yeah, just turn on the heater and.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Because there's nothing a 6-month-old kid, or I guess it'd be a year-old by then. I probably won't trap this fall because I'll have an 8-week-old on my hands. But yeah, when it's a year old, I'm trying really hard to say it, because we know the gender, but I don't think the podcast listeners do. But it'll be a year old by then. So then I can have it stick his hand down the hole and see if there's a muskrat in the trap or not by that time. He can fit into the smaller muskrat runs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that there's not a lot of listeners on this episode, because I think I've said I'm going to start throwing in some hers in here. Just
there you go. try to confuse them, because I caught on that one.
Amber, edit this out. Yeah, it's a boy.
Your secret is safe.
Well, it's just a matter if she actually listens to the podcast and remembers to edit this part out. But or maybe she'll
just put it out there and won't listen to any of it.
Yeah, just hit publish.
Amber, this is a test.
I think she's gonna know better than that, right?
I surely hope so.
Let the three of us just
ruin their reputation.
Oh my god.
Do you guys? We're going on 40 minutes here. She said 45 or so. Do you guys have any like stuff that you had in the chamber that you wanted to throw, as far as tips or pointers or anything you really wanted to hit on?
I got one that I think is important.
Fire away.
When that baby is born and in the middle of the night, it starts screaming, you got to keep your ground, pretend like you don't hear it,
Oh,
and you
geez.
wait for Amber to elbow you, and then you get out of bed. Otherwise, you just lay there silently. You got to start training yourself now for that.
Oh boy. Because I've heard about that, like the battle between, like, oh, I'm pretend like you're both laying there pretending you can't hear the baby crying,
Right?
and I mean, I'm assuming I'm always going to lose that battle, but just hold out for a little bit.
You got to
longer
hold your ground. Don't move. Don't breathe. Don't do anything. Just lay there.
until I get a knife to the ribs.
Yep. And then you get up, act like you didn't hear anything.
But then you can't say, "Oh, I was so sound asleep," because then you're not listening to your baby's cries. So it's a catch-22. You know, it's a rock and a hard place. Like if you wake right up, then you have to wake up every time. But if you don't wake right up, then you don't care. So it's, I got you. I'm pretty good at that. When Bear was a puppy, I could hear him, but I was a fan of the let him deal with it himself, and then he'll stop whining, and that didn't work. So, but now that he's a year old, he's doing pretty well. But you said when the baby's born, my biggest question, I think Amber asked the girls last week on it. I think she said, Annalise said that you were an above the curtain guy. Amber has it in her mind that I put the baby in there, I'm going to take it out. So she wants me to be a below the curtain guy in the delivery room. And I'm not ready for that.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. So Annalise was C-section.
Okay.
So when we're sitting in that operating room and there's like a shop vac over in the corner, like sucking her blood and guts out. There was for like a split second, I was like, I kind of want to see what's going on in there, right? And then, but I didn't.
You're just,
and it was probably
just curiosity.
I would have passed right out. Yeah, I would have passed right out.
Yeah, there's things you can't unsee.
I just sat in my chair and right.
I think Annalise said, I think what she said is she doesn't like looking at it, so she doesn't want to see it angry. I believe that's what she said. I think that was a direct quote. So
we can't say the F word, but Annalise can say that.
Yeah, so I think that's exactly what she said. So, no.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Take an illness or something and just pass out. So you,
because the problem is Amber knows I don't really have a problem with like blood and stuff. I have no problem gutting deer or animals like that, but it's a whole different world.
It's different. It's definitely different.
I'm not looking at a deer's liver.
You just compared childbirth to
Stop it,
Tom. You're definitely going to get punched for that.
Why did you have to point out? I thought that was just going to slide by.
No, that's why I'm here.
Shit. Yeah, I did just say that.
Yeah, when she's there, when you're standing next to her and she's squeezing the crap out of your hand, it becomes a whole different perspective of this is not anything that you've ever experienced before. Don't look down. Don't look down.
My dog's going crazy downstairs. I don't know. Somebody's at the house? Nope. But she did just set up the birthing plan today, and she said, because I didn't want to do it, she said that on her birthing plan, I'm cutting the umbilical cord. And I said, there's people that go to school for that. And she said, it's not a big deal. Like, I don't have a doctorate in anything. And now they're expecting me to disconnect the baby from her. I know it's just a simple scissor cut, but
you field dressed a deer, so you can cut an umbilical cord.
Shut up, Tom.
I was thinking the same thing.
Bring your buck knife in there. When they say it's time, pull that out of your pocket.
Well, all I use are these little knives. They're Havalons is what they're called. It's like a surgical blade. They probably have the same thing in the operating room. So, it might not be that big of a deal. It's what I skin my muskrats with too. So, it's all the same.
So when you guys are in like doctor's offices for whatever checkups your wife makes you go to, Are you guys scrounging through the cupboards looking at all the cool stuff they got, or is that
No,
only me?
no. Trying to Amazon the figures, the the molds, trying to figure out what the heck that is. Do they have exciting stuff in the cupboards? And now
Not
I'm
really.
interested.
I
Okay.
don't know. They make you sitting there for 20 minutes, so you might as well open the cupboard and see what they got.
I think we've got an appointment next week, so I'll have to take a look and report
See what they
back.
got. Yeah, yeah.
I've never done,
That's
especially
one
in.
thing
Go ahead, Joey.
that annoys you is you literally have your appointment scheduled at say 11 o'clock and it's 11:15, 11:20 before the doctor's in to see you. It's like, what was the point of making this appointment at this time if you're going
Exactly.
to be over here? I mean, obviously an emergency C-section, whatever, but it's mostly routine stuff going on in the clinic. In my eyes, it's like, why am I sitting here twiddling my thumbs?
Looking at stages of a women's life cycle, on a
Yeah.
poster.
With COVID going on, you're sitting in there with a mask, like,
Yep.
oh, slip my mask down. I'm a badass. You
Yep.
can't. Yeah. I can breathe.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to open up some cabinets next week in that because we've got an appointment and I'm gonna have to. But the thing is, they come in, they knock before they walk in the room, but they don't give you that much time. I don't even know why they knock. They should just open they should just open the door. They knock and the handle's already turning as they knock on the door. So I'm gonna have to close those cabinets real quick before I get caught.
Don't worry about it. They'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm like, sorry, I've been here. My appointment was for 11 o'clock. It's 11:30. I'm bored. You don't have any
I was looking
Where's
for
Waldo
snacks.
books anymore. Yeah. Well, my dog is, I don't know what the hell's going on downstairs. He's going nuts. But as far as the Fathers podcast goes, there's another podcast I just started listening to called Podfathers. I can't take their name, but it's a fantastic name for a father podcast. But this was the Forward Farming Fathers podcast. Let's get a little alliteration there. Forward Farming Fathers episode. That's an E. They're close in the alphabet. But I appreciate you guys taking your time. I know we're all tired. We all work long hours, early hours, and we're all going to be, at least Joey and I are going to be a lot more tired here in a couple weeks and months. So
Yeah, have fun with that.
Number 3, it'll be all right.
Yeah, it's like getting on a bike.
Yeah.
Or gutting a deer, whatever analogy you want to use.
Just digging that hole deeper.
It's fine. I've got a permanent residency in the doghouse, so I might as well, pay another month or another month's rent. But any closing thoughts as far as farming and fatherhood, or fatherhood and anything like that, or should we just wrap up shop?
It's fun to watch them see the animals born. They love baby calves. It's fun to, I see it all the time. I've seen it, for 35 years. So it's kind of the excitement of it is wore off, but they love it. They love watching animals be born and seeing the cows and that kind of stuff. So, rejuvenates the system a little bit, man. That's kind of sappy, but whatever.
we don't want to go sappy now, so we might as well.
Let's cut that out, Amber. Cut that out.
Yeah, I would just say enjoy it. There's highs and lows with it, and you'll make it through it. It's no big deal. Just kid shits up his back, just make sure to throw it in the wash machine right away, or if it's real bad, just throw it away.
You mean the kid or the diaper?
No, if
You
it's
could try
summertime, you
throwing-
just take them out back and turn the old garden hose on. That's
we've
one
got-
advantage of being
On
out in the
that,
country. Just
Yeah.
turn the garden hose on and wash it.
We've
down in the
got
my
milk
go-to.
house.
we've got water everywhere out here, so
Yeah.
I might that pond might get a little bit dirtier,
Just throw them in.
You're just fertilizing the cranberries
There it is. There
at
we
the
go.
same time.
We put phosphorus and sulfur on this week. There we go.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Hopefully we can all meet each other here eventually. I don't know. We got to find a middle point between our three areas. I don't know. That might be La Crosse. I'm not sure, but whatever.
Lacrosse.
Yeah. That might be too close for you, Tom, though. I'm not sure. It might not be even, it's only a half hour for you. It might be 2 hours for Joey. So
That's
Joey
not
would
2
probably
hours
rather
down there, is it?
no.
It's probably pretty close. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've been up
Yeah.
there.
Joey would probably rather us meet in Lansing or something.
Well, I'm not going to Lansing.
You can take the river road. It's beautiful this time of year.
Yeah.
Take
Follow
35
somebody.
south and just when you hit Iowa, you've gone too far.
And then follow somebody that's watching a bald eagle on the
Exactly.
water for the whole way. Yeah. Then it will take
Mhm.
2. That's why it takes you 2 hours to get up here, because you get stuck find somebody bird watching.
You.
I almost ran a guy. I'm going to hold a quick stop recording. Well, yeah.